Hello everyone, welcome back to Try to Be Useful. So today we're going to be continuing our ongoing math contest series, and today's topic we're going to be going over some isosceles triangle problems. In many different cases you're going to be able to find these problems, so that's what we're going to be going over today. And the difficulty level for these problems is for the grade 7 and for grade 8. So let's get started with what the question is asking. So isosceles triangles. So the question reads, two isosceles triangles each have at least one angle that measures 70 degrees. In the first triangle, the measure in degrees of each of the remaining two angles is even. And then it says in the third sentence, it says, in the second triangle, the measure in degrees of each of the remaining two angles is odd. So in the first triangle, the sum of equal angles is S, and in the second triangle, the sum of equal angles is T. So we need to find out the value of S plus T. So this is what our question is asking us. So just before we solve this problem, I'm gonna first go over what the possible answers are. So first we have A, which is 280. We have B, which is 250. We have C, which is 220. We have D, which is 200. And we have E, which is 300. So these are our possible answers, and feel free to pause this video if needed to solve this problem by yourself. Okay, so to solve this problem, let's first remember what the question's asking. So first we obviously see that the two isosceles triangles. So we first need to draw these two triangles here. So here is one triangle, and here's another triangle. So just to refresh our minds, if we forgot, an isosceles triangle means that two sides of the triangle is equal and one is not. So in this triangle, this one side is equal to the other side, and in the second triangle, this side would be equal to this side. So that's basically what an isosceles triangle is that two sides are equal. So this is what we have here, and then it says that at least one angle in both of them should measure at 70. So we're just going to keep note of this and write 70 on both sides. So just to keep track so we won't forget that. And then it says, in the first triangle, the measure in degrees of each remaining two angles is even. So we know that here we also need to draw our angles. So we know that if this is an isosceles triangle, then we're going to have, either way we're going to have three angles. So this one will be an angle, this one will be an angle, and this one will be an angle. But then we're going to know that since this is an isosceles triangle, we're going to know that this angle and this angle will be equal, since they're the same. And the top one will not be equal. And same thing with this side. This angle will be equal to this angle. And yeah, so that's basically how this works. And then it's saying in the first one, the two angles should be even, the two remaining. And then in the second one, it's saying the two remaining angles should be odd. And then it also says that the sum of the first triangle is equal to S, and the sum of the second triangle is equal to T. And then we just need to add what S plus T is. So we're going to be doing this problem right now, so let's start solving it. So let's look at the first one. We already have a lot of information. We already know that this is an isosceles triangle. It has two equal angles, and we know that we need to have the two remaining angles as even, and we already have 70 degrees as one of them. So let's first just use our common sense. So it's saying that two of the remaining angles are even, and we know that this one right here and this one is right here, they're equal, right? So let's just assume that both of these angles are 70 degrees. So if both of these are 70 degrees, then we're gonna get 70 plus 70, which is 140. And then if we remember, all the sides in the all the angles in the triangle should equal to up to 180. So since this would be 70, this would be 70, then we're gonna know that the top would be 40. So we got 70 as this, and we got 40 at the top. So let's just confirm that this is true. So it's saying that in the question, it's saying that the two remaining angles is even. So the two remaining here are even. So 70 plus 70, that's even. And then the top, and then one of them should at least measure 70. So this is correct. So now since we got this side done, let's move on to the second side. And the second side here, it's saying that the two remaining should be odd and one of them should be 70. to do this, let's just assume another angle. If we were to say that this angle here and this angle here were 70 degrees, then that wouldn't meet our criteria because it's saying to us that two angles should be equal to odd. So if we do that, then we're obviously just breaking our rule here. Let's, instead of assuming that these are going to be 70, let's just assume that this top one here is going to be 70 instead. So if the top one will be 70, then all we have to do is, here I'll just write it 180 minus 70, which is equal to 110 divided by 2, which is 55. So we're given that this one would be 55 degrees and this one would also be 55 degrees. And if we calculate this all up, then it'll go up to 180. And if we look back at our criteria, it's saying that two of the remaining should be odd and one of them should be 70. So we did fulfill that requirement. So we have this one is even, this one is odd, this one's odd, and this one is 70. So there we got both of the triangles, so we're clear on that, and we followed all the criteria that's the question's asking. And the final thing that we need to do is we need to add up the total of S and the total of T. So if we go back to S, we know that S is going to be, we already did the calculations here, which is 140. So we already know that S is 140. And by doing 55 plus 55, we know that T will equal to 110. So we have S is 140, T is 110. So if we do 140 plus 110, we get 250. So this way we can see that the answer will be B here because we didn't get any other answers. So, and that's also basically it for how to solve this isosceles triangle problem. And also thank you so much for watching from Try to Be Useful once again, and we'll see you guys in the next math contest series video.